If you're trying to build muscle, here's 3 things I wished I knew earlier in my lifting journey. It would have saved me years of frustration. And if you implement these things, it's going to save you a load of time. Early on, I was obsessed with meal timing. I thought that if I was away from the kitchen for 2 hours, I'd lose all my gains. If I didn't have a protein shake straight after my workout, well, that workout was wasted. At a point in time, it got that bad and that obsessive that if I had to leave my house for more than 2 hours, I just wouldn't go because I thought I would lose my gains and I've missed a meal. And all of a sudden, I was in a catabolic state. I was so wrong. And in fact, what actually matters is just hitting your calorie target and protein target in a 24-hour window. Whether that's in 3 meals or 6 meals, it's up to you and your preference. The anabolic window in itself is overrated. So now I just hit my calorie target and my protein target for the day, and I'm happy. Now lesson 1 leads into lesson 2, the whole you have to eat big to get big. So not only was I eating every 2 hours, I wasn't even tracking my calories. I was just force feeding for the sake of force feeding, even if I wasn't hungry. And all I cared about is eating and eating and eating and seeing my scale weight go up. I didn't even think about my body composition. I was just thinking, if I'm not eating, I'm not growing. But in reality, you can only build so much muscle. So I was just getting fatter. Sure, I would have gained some muscle, but I couldn't see any muscle because I just gained a lot of fat. And we've all been there, chasing a certain scale weight, force feeding yourself because you think you're gaining muscle, when really it's the opposite. My turning point only came when I was about 20 kilos overweight, and I was afraid to take my top off because I looked fat. So instead of force feeding for muscle growth and chasing a certain scale weight, just find your starting maintenance calories and consume those maintenance calories for a period of time. That with your protein target is going to be a great starting point. If you're achieving progressive overload in the gym and you're liking the way you look in the mirror, it's probably a sign that you're on the right track. If progress stalls and you want to be a bit more aggressive, well then you can increase your calories by maybe 5 to 10%, but you don't need to go overboard like I did. Just remember, slow and steady is going to win the race. And as a natural, you're going to have a limited amount of muscle you can grow. And lesson 3, I thought longer workouts led to more gains. I used to think I had to train for 2 hours in the gym and smash out 20 to 30 sets per muscle group so I could make the real gains. To be honest, I didn't even think about fatigue and I was chasing soreness. But along with my force feeding, not tracking calories and macros, and smashing myself in the gym, my results were lacking, but I was putting in a lot of effort. So with my training, I decided to scale back. Train from anywhere from 45 minutes to maybe an hour and 15, but focusing on quality sets and really achieving progressive overload by tracking all my sets and reps. And what I noticed is as I scaled back my training, my progressive overload shot through the roof. And progressive overload is needed to show us that your training is working, so we know we're building muscle. So instead of focusing on more volume, focus on better execution and taking your working sets within a close proximity to failure so you're not fluffing around in the gym. Because if you're training with intent and progressing most weeks, you will grow. So here's the deal. I wasted a few years of my training, so you don't have to. Stressing about meal timing, stressing about eating big to get big, and training for hours in the gym. So if you're making these mistakes, stop now, reassess, focus on things that actually drive progress, which means you might have to scale back a bit to see greater gains. So don't forget to hit that like button. Until then, I'll catch you on the next one.